Greetings to you, my beloved viewers. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is your host, Taksokoz. Thank you for choosing to visit my channel once again. May our dear Lord continue to bless you in every sphere of your lives. If you are visiting my channel for the first time, please consider to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so that whenever I post a new video, you will be the first to be notified. Today, I am going to introduce something new on this channel. Just stay tuned, guys, and see what I have in store for you. In the meantime, I want to extend my sincere apologies to you for failing to maintain my regular scheduling in the past 2 weeks. This was due to circumstances beyond my control. I fell sick with a stomach infection and was on antibiotics for 14 days, leaving me bedridden for the entire period I was on those antibiotics. I want to thank God for I am now fully recovered. I also want to thank my pastor, Pastor Mukumba, for his prayers. Thank you, man of God. Last but not least, I want to give a special shout out to my wife for taking care of me while I was not feeling well. You know, guys, I love cooking. But during the time I was sick, she took over the kitchen completely and made sure I had my breakfast, lunch, and supper. Thank you, Tandy. As I said earlier, I have something new for you guys. It is a book review, the first such program on this channel. I will be talking to an upcoming author, George Matuvi, a Zimbabwean Canadian living here in Canada, in Hamilton's Stony Creek area. Mr. Makonese has just produced his first book, entitled The War as I Saw It. This is an account of the liberation war in Rhodesia, now Zimbabwe. Welcome to the program. May I start by asking you to introduce yourself? Who is George Makonese Matuvi?
Yes, thank you for inviting me to have this interview with you. I'm actually very honored to be talking to you. Yes, George Makonese Matuvi. My home area, they just call me George Makonese or George. Most people just know me as George. But I grew up in Rishavane. It's a place actually called Chamini, which is outside of Rishavane. It's maybe 20 kilometers out. It's an area with a lot of mountains and hills. It's a very nice environment there. I grew up there up to when I was about 10, and then we left, obviously, because of what we are talking about, the war. And went to several places, and then we came back, and then, I finished my elementary school and back in Chamini at that time. And now I've done my engineering degree. I live here in Canada. I also lived in the US when I was doing my education. I have 3 kids. I live here in Hamilton, in Canada, and yeah, I have my kids and my wife here. Yes, my wife is the one that is really a person that helps us in the whole family to keep together. She has managed to through all the struggles, going to school, moving from Boston to here, she's really a strong person. And even allowing me to have the time to write something and sit in my office here, late hours trying to get that story going. She's a very nice person. Yes.
Can you give us a feel of the war, how it affected you and your family during the Rhodesian Bush War?
So, when you are in the war situation, normally you don't think about what's going on, you're thinking about survival. So, it's only when the war is done that when you start thinking about what was going on. But it was more of the war is happening. For me as a kid, I didn't understand why are they fighting, and why did they even come here to do the fighting in this location. As a kid, I was thinking about Chamini. I didn't think about the whole world. So to me, it was strange. Uh, the feel of it was kind of, am I going to be here tomorrow? Are they going to come and take us? I mean, this is a feeling from a kid, right? I would look up to my parents, and they had a plan, and we're going to run away, go here, and if we see somebody who's strange, we need to tell them and things like that. But generally, if you look at any place where there's a war, the kids normally are not the focus for most of the people. As we see on TV, you find that we see cameras zoomed into the soldiers or the older people, and once in a while you get a shot of a kid. What I would like to say is, when you're in the war and you're a kid, you also have some feelings, and you're wondering about things. You're scared, and you look up to the people that are with you, with your family, to say, how are we going to survive? Am I going to lose them? Or, things like that.
What inspired you to write this book? How did you come up with the idea?
When I started writing the book, it wasn't really like I'm going to write a book. My older son, who's 26 now, he was young, and he was in maybe grade 5 or so. He started asking me questions about how was school for you. So I was thinking, I explained to him a few things, like sometimes he'd ask me like, "Were the teachers like this?" And I'm trying to think, like, okay, no, it was different. Then came a time when I was trying to explain to him, like, no, at this age, I was in a different school. And then he says, "How many schools did you go to?" Then I was trying to explain to him there was a war, and so therefore we moved from one place to another. And then he got really interested in that. So I started seeing something to it, and he was saying, "Why don't you write something down for us? Why don't you write a book? Why don't you?" And so I started thinking, what? I think he has a point. At one time, I'm going to forget about some of these things, and I won't be able, or maybe I might even die before anybody knows about what I saw. So I decided, okay, let me write a chapter at a time, and it took quite a bit of time. I mean, it's only just about 100 pages, but I'm not a trained book writer, so I was just writing pieces of this, and yeah, that's how it came about. It was just that when my son asked me these things, and I started thinking, what, I should really do something about it. I started writing these pieces, and at one time he actually saw some of it, and he said, "Daddy, you have to make this a book." Yeah, yeah.
How does he feel now that the book is out?
Yes, well, a lot of excitement happened with him and the younger ones too. That okay, the book is there. But it's funny now that the book is there. They have the book. They can read it at any time they want, and so I think he feels proud that he was the instigator of all this. And that even if I pass away, he has something that he can read or give to his kids as well.
Do you think the book has a lesson or two to someone who reads it? And if so, what would that lesson be?
So this is something I think that is important. I think the lesson here is we need to tell our stories. I think there's a lot of people that have gone through the war, not just me, who have seen certain things that maybe even more horrible than I did, but they do not really share with the family. There's certain things that we do, there's certain things that I react to uh, that some people might find strange, but it's really the effects of the war. So I think that the the lesson really is, let's share our story. The whole book is non-political. It's nothing to do with anybody. It's my story, and that I'm sharing with other people. So if you have a story out there, share the story. That's the lesson I'm trying. Because there's a lot of people, I believe, that have stories, maybe like me, or maybe even worse than me, or better. I don't know. Yes.
How can viewers get copies of the book?
Oh yes, it's now available on Amazon. You can get it there. You can also get it directly from the publisher. I'm, I'm gonna say something about the publisher. Uh, I really, really enjoyed working with my publisher. The, the first thing is when she saw my script, she read it. I wasn't really sure whether it was book material or not, but she encouraged me to say, finish it off. You have something here to tell your story. Um, she is somebody who actually would help anybody out there who has a story to tell. Uh, she's located in Hamilton on James Street. Um, and if anybody needs some of this information, I can provide. Yeah, it's not a problem. I might find out from her first, though. That shall I just give everybody your number? Yes, but yeah, you can get it on Amazon online. I think right now, even if you type in George Matuvi or George Makonese, you'll find the book very easily. It's also available in Barnes and Noble. It's available on in most of the bookshops here in Canada and the US. And I also believe that now it's available in the UK. I know that my publisher also has organized for it to be printed in South Africa, so it will be available in South Africa as well in the bookshops there. As well, the issue in Zimbabwe right now is that there's no printing house that can actually do the work um, directly through this publisher. So if you look at some of the publishing houses that are big, they've gone down to South Africa. But obviously, because South Africa is next door to Zimbabwe, this is why we're looking at if the publishing houses that's big enough is in South Africa, it will be published there. Then
I understand there will be a book launch soon. Can you give us details of the launch, date, time, venue, and so on?
okay, so I'm gonna apologize about the actual location, but it's gonna be in Hamilton. Um, the publisher is organizing the location for it. I can send. I don't know how I can give this location to everybody, but it's going to be in Hamilton, one of the conference centers in Hamilton. It's going to be at 7 o'clock after work on the 30th of November. The location is still being finalized as we speak. Yeah, I will send you immediately as soon as I get this information. I'll send you the information of the location, but it's on the 30th of November in Hamilton.
There you are, guys. That was George Makonese Matuvi talking to me about his book, The War as I Saw It, in Rhodesia, now Zimbabwe, through the eyes of a black boy. If you enjoyed the interview, please do me a favor by liking the video. If you are not fully subscribed yet, or if you are new here, kindly subscribe and then like the video. Thank you very much for your support. May God bless you all. Check details of the launch in the description box.